So what's a story anyway? We're going to take a look at what Kurt Vonnegut says. And I love Kurt Vonnegut. He's like perfectly cynical and sardonic, and he's great. I loved his book, Slaughterhouse-Five, Welcome to the Monkey House, all the short stories in there. He's an interesting one. He is so fascinating. Now, I'm going to give you the proper definition of a story, okay? So what's a story? Well, it is a sequence of real or fictional events, all right? A story is an account of those experiences. That's basically it, all right? And that's why you've heard stories so many times over the years, because they are everywhere. Stories are everywhere, all right? Now, Kurt Vonnegut actually wrote this very controversial paper. All right, he wrote this paper called The Shapes of Stories, where basically it was for his master's thesis at the University of Chicago. But basically, you can imagine that all the folks in the English department across the entire country were basically freaking out because it was too, quote unquote, reductive. Now, what does all that mean? First of all, Kurt Vonnegut's point is that there were only three main shapes of stories. Okay, yeah, you can see why all the English folks freaked out. So if you take a look, let me just scroll down here a bit. This, guys, is the graph that he basically drew on a blackboard. He was like, all right, let's say your y-axis goes from good fortune to ill fortune, because that's where people basically fluctuate, right? That's where characters and stories fluctuate. And then you have beginning to end. Now, he was like, there are only three stories, really. You got a boy meets girl. So in the beginning, you got good fortune and bad fortune, and then great fortune, or right here. All right. Or you have man in a hole, which is you've got great fortune in the beginning, and then he loses it all, and then it comes back up. He fights his way back. Is this sounding familiar? Is this sounding familiar? Oh my God, so familiar, right? So familiar. Or Cinderella, right? The Cinderella story arc is when, gosh, there's so much ill fortune, but oh my God, there's this moment of good fortune, and then all of a sudden she was gonna lose all of it because of an evil stepmother, and then yay, in the end she marries a prince. Cinderella, right? And he's like, hey, there is no reason why we couldn't take stories, feed them into a computer, and see what storylines there are out there. I bet there are only a few. And everyone freaks out. They're like, oh my God, you are reducing all these complex human thoughts and emotions and story arcs into only these crass shapes. That's so not okay. And Kurt Vonnegut was like, there is no reason. I want to write this down because I actually kind of love this quote. There is no reason why these simple shapes of stories can't be fed into computers. They are beautiful shapes. I love that.